Hey guys, I'm Jay, and today we're going to look at a damn handsome Kizer River Cat, model number Ki4456A1. This is a collaboration between Kizer and Tomcat Knives. Now, I'm going to try something a little bit different today. We're going to do a different review format where I'm just going to go through what I like about the knife, areas of indifference, and what I don't like. We'll start out with the blade and we'll work our ways back to the lanyard hole. Now make sure that you stick around until the end though, because I will still display the full specs for you guys, and if you're a subscriber you might even see your name at the end in the credits. Now I know that you guys are really busy, so I just wanted to quickly remind you to click on that subscribe button if you're looking for knife reviews that get right to the point. So first, the good stuff. Well, the first thing that I noticed was the blade stock thickness. Look at that, 4.05 millimeters. I really like that in a knife. The width of the blade, 1.07 inches, which I also really like. This does have a hollow grind, so it's going to be really good for slicing. Has a very nice stone washed finish, and of course that's going to hide, any imperfections and scratches from use. Now this blade is about 3.375 inches long, which I feel is a really good in-between size. I really appreciate the flipper tab because it's pretty small, so it's really not going to be coming into contact with too many things in your pocket. The ball bearing pivot, it does allow for the blade to kind of fall shut, a little bit of shake and bake there, but that will definitely improve with use. The detent, very, very strong, and that also helps to provide really good deployment action. Very strong detent. I mean, I cannot shake this guy open, even upside down. Most knives, if it's gonna fall open, it's gonna do it upside down, and I can't do it with the River Cat. I really like the multiple deployment options. You have of course, the flipper, and you can use the thumb studs. They both work equally as well. There is a little bit of a sharpening choil, you guys can see there, so that's always good to have. The centering is dead on. Very, very good. And I also like, it's a minor feature, but it does excite me, where you see how this area, the blade tang is flush with the scales. I really, really like that. I don't like as much when there's a gap. Let's get into now what I like about the handle. Well, first thing you're going to notice is this grooved milling on the titanium scales. And it starts out fairly flat, but then the grooves get a little deeper and deeper as you work your way down towards the butt end of the handle. That just looks beautiful, and it does appear on both sides. And it also aids with grip and traction as well. The thickness of the handle, anytime it's under a ½ inch, I love that. So this one's at 0.48 inches. The shape of the handle really, really does fit my hand well. Just kind of like locks my hand into it. See that? And I wear like a medium-sized glove. Oh yes, that feels really, really nice. Now the handle is about 4.375 inches long, which gives the River Cat a fantastic fantastic blade to handle ratio. There are absolutely no sharp edges anywhere on this knife except for, and it's not really sharp, right where the frame lock cutout is. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't consider it sharp, but compared to the rest of the edges, yeah, you could say it's not as rounded. There is an over travel stop, if you guys can see that, kind of behind the, sort of behind the clip. The body screws, T8 all throughout. Nice to see. Less likely to strip out. And the balance is perfect. Exactly where it should be. The next section is going to be the areas of indifference, and this is just the stuff that, you know, I could really take it or leave it. It's neither good nor bad, just kind of okay. And we'll start this out with the blade and the clip point style. Does not offend me. This is a recurve edge, slightly, if you guys can see that there. There's a little bit of jimping right here up top, just at the blade spine, and you notice the does have a top swedge. There is a little bit of texture. See if you guys can see that. A little bit of texture on the thumb studs, which they are pretty large. Now, it doesn't really bother me all that much, but some of you might not like that. Yeah, they are pretty big. The standard pivot screw design for Kizer. The closed width. Now, it is under a 1/2 inch, and that's going to be at 1.41, so that's not bad at all. There is a lanyard hole, and you notice it does have sort of a gray color to the scales. There is another version of this, and that model number ends in 82, and that has the difference being the blue anodization throughout the handle scales. Now, the Rivercat does have open back construction that you can see, and the weight, ooh, we should check that. Let's see what kind of ounces that we're working with today. About 4.5 ounces. Not bad, not bad. Which is going to be roughly the equivalent of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looks like 6 AA batteries. So for a knife that has an overall length of 7.75 inches long, 4.5 ounces, I mean, it's not terrible, it's not great, but that's why it's an area of indifference for me. And the last item in this section is the fact that the way that the Rivercat is designed, there is no stop pin of any kind on it. Let's bring in a couple other knives so you guys can get an idea of the true size of the Rivercat. And we'll start out, of course, with the Buck 110. And how about Spyderco Paramilitary 2. And ooh, let's do this one. Benchmade Freak. And how about the Mannix 2? What's another good one? Oh, Cold Steel, American Lawman, and let's do one more. What the heck? It's going to be a Kershaw, and you are looking at the Oh So Sweet. Now, unfortunately, we have to talk about some of the bad stuff. And starting with the blade, we're going to look at these thumb studs and specifically the positioning of them. If you notice, they are kind of in the cutting path. So like if you're using this area of your knife, it could potentially, these thumb studs could potentially interfere with whatever you're cutting. And the second item of bad stuff is, yep, the sticker. You know, it's not so bad on like a satin or a stonewash blade because I can just use alcohol to remove the sticky residue. But when they put this on like a black DLC coating, oh man, it's terrible to get off. Now for what I don't like about the handle scales. And the first area is going to be the fact that there is no lock bar insert. So titanium scales rubbing up against the blade without the lock bar insert, that opens up the potential for lock stick. Now with Kizer knives, I know a lot of their knives do not include that lock bar insert, and I really haven't had any problems with lock stick yet, but you know, who's to say that it will not develop later down the road. The lock bar itself, now I'm a left-handed individual, so sometimes I will accidentally rest my thumb on the lock bar. Well, if you do that with the Rivercat, the blade will not deploy, so it cannot tolerate any kind of lock bar pressure. For some of you, it's not a big deal, but for lefties, it's terrible. There are way too many, I feel, too many barrel spacers. I mean, this is really a medium-sized knife, and do they really need 3 barrel spacers? I mean, I've seen larger knives that will only have 2. So, not crazy about that. Now the Torx screws being T8, I really wish, I mean, I like the fact that they're using T8s, but the size of the head of the screws and the fact that there is 3 of them, I just kind of think that takes away, really detracts from this beautiful milled design. So I really would have liked to have seen that maybe done a little bit differently. And the pocket clip, yeah, this is definitely just one of those last minute throw on kind of clips. It's, you know, the cheapy generic clip. Now it's tip up only, and it is for righties and for lefties, so that's nice. And the last item on the bad stuff list is, and you know what, it's minor and it's kind of ridiculous that I'm even bringing it up, but I will. This did not come with a camo pouch or the cleaning rag. And when you hear how much this knives cost, you'll understand why. Now let's just go ahead and finish things up with the recommendation. And now for me, $191, that's a little bit too much for this, for me. Especially when you consider there is no lock bar insert. They threw on a generic clip. And again, you know, why not throw in a stupid pouch and rag? Even though I have a ton of them, still, for $191, no extra screws. I mean, we're talking, that's Benchmade type of money. I mean, this is a really good little tank of a knife. I mean, I actually dropped this on my ceramic tile floor in my kitchen, and it survived without a scratch. Oh my gosh, I really thought that I did something to it when I dropped it, but nope, nothing at all. So it is very tank-like. I do like this knife quite a bit. Now, I was actually able to find it on Amazon for about $132, which what I'll do is I'll include the link to that. Hopefully they're still there for those of you that are interested, but I will put the link in the description below. Hopefully they're there. But at 191 bucks, that's a little steep. I would feel better 160. Sure. I would spend that in a heartbeat, but 191, If this video about the Kizer River Cat answered most of your questions, why not just go ahead and leave me a like? Now, don't go away. Stick around because I'm going to show you the full specs here in just a second. And guys, let me know what you think of the new review format. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you not care? Thanks again, you guys, for stopping by, letting me talk knives with you, and I will see you at the next video. You guys take care, okay?